In this video, we're going to have a look at how we work with the Pages module. We're going to look at how we create a page, and it's also worth noting that before you create a page, have a look at the different modules that you have installed on your website, because there's some great functionality in those that will make it much easier to manage your content before you actually go and create a brand new page. But there will be times when creating a page is essential. We're going to have a look at how we create a brand new page, how we add headings, how we add quotes and text, also how we add links to other sections within our website or to external websites. We'll have a look at how we create lists, add images, upload files, and then also things like embedding video, and then also looking at working with the left and right column options that you have in the Pages module. So first of all, let's jump into the Pages module, and we're going to add a brand new page. So you can see here we already have two pages here. One is the About Us page, which sits on its own, and the other is the footer text page. And what that's allowing us to do, if we click edit here, is to edit the footer text that we see right at the bottom of our page here. So on the left hand side of our page we have a short introduction. So on the very bottom left hand side of our footer here we have a small section where we can give an introduction to our business or the products we're selling. And when you come to edit this specific part of the content, you'll come to the Pages panel to actually do that. So let's click the back button. We'll jump back to our Pages module, and we're going to add a brand new page. So what you'll first notice when you come in to add a page is at the top you have the navigation tab title, which is the wording that will appear in your navigation. So we'll just type in here test page, and then for most pages you'll really just be working with the left hand column. We'll have a look a little bit at the right hand column, but most of the content that you put into your page will be in that one left hand column. So what's different about this heading to the navigation tab title is that we want to include a lot of keywords in that page. So in here we'll type this, so you can see I've tried to make this heading more descriptive of what it's about. And then we'll come back to images and videos in a little bit. We're just going to add in here some placeholder text that we can use for our page so that we can set things up and move things around. So I've got some text copied already. I'm just going to go to edit and paste to paste that in there. And we don't really need to worry about the formatting of the basic text. The style will be set up already for your website from the design end of things. So if we scroll down and click publish, then we can come back and click publish. Then we can come back to our site and hit the refresh button. And what we'll see up at the top is the test page listed there. So when you're adding pages to your site, they'll automatically get a link up in the navigation bar, and more often than not we'll want to hide that as we develop and perfect the new pages that we're adding. And most of the time we won't want them to be right on the left hand side replacing the home button. So we're going to go in to the navigation module now and just have a look at where that test page link in the navigation menu is. So we'll come to content, click on navigation, and you can see our test page is right up at the top here. So now once you've added your page, you can move this to wherever you want it to sit. So we'll just drop it around halfway down our menu here, and if we press publish and come back to our site and hit the refresh button, then you can see our test page link in our navigation menu has moved all the way across there. Now we're developing a test page, so we don't necessarily want it to be visible within our site. So one thing we can do as we're developing the content for a page is we can scroll down here and click on the ghost button, and what this will do is hide the link to our page. It's not going to delete our page. So we'll click on this, and then if we come back to our site, and you want to make sure you navigate to your page before you refresh, because once you've clicked that ghost button, then the link to that page will disappear from the menu. So what this means is that if people are visiting your site and you're developing new content for your site, you can create that page, hide it from the navigation so people don't accidentally stumble across something that's half finished, work on the page, and then we can come back into the navigation menu once we're ready, click on the ghost button again, and then it will bring that link back to life. So we'll jump back into the content section here, back into our pages, and you can see we've got some options across here on the right hand side, either to edit or to delete a page. And we're going to come back in and edit this page so we can look at how we add some different heading and image content into that page. So we have our test page listed here. You can see we've got a nice descriptive title. So we'll come back to our edit page tab, and we're going to scroll down here. And the first thing we might want to do in a page is look at adding some subtitles into our page. So we're going to drop down to just before our last paragraph, and we'll add in level 2 title. And in order to format this, we need to highlight that text. Once it's highlighted, we can come to the formats here, and we're looking for the heading options. So in general, you should have one heading 1, which will be the main header for your page, and then heading 2 will be slightly smaller, and then heading 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be smaller still. And apart from selecting level 2, we don't need to worry about formatting the style of the type or anything like that. The design of the website will do all that work for us. So once we've set that to a level 2 heading, we can hit publish, come to our test page, press refresh, and you can see we've added that level 2 title. So it's slightly smaller than the top level title, and really you have the freedom to choose any one of those levels of title that you want depending on the scale of things, but keeping consistency for the design using the level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 headings as you design your pages is important, so there's consistency across the site. We'll jump into edit here, and there's a few other things we can add into the formatting of our text here. So I'm just going to paste in another paragraph type here, so edit paste, and we'll just highlight this second new paragraph type that we've added in, and we're going to make a quote here. So if we highlight that paragraph and come back to formats, you can see we've got headings, we've got inline, which are things like bold, italic, underline, and superscript and subscript, and then we've got these blocks. So here we can add a block quote, which will effectively be a quote for our text. And in the editor, it's just going to indent slightly, but we'll get some different results in the actual design. So we might want to add a block quote and make it a heading 3 style. And if we press publish here and come back to our site and press refresh, you'll see we get the heading 3 will manage the size, and then we get the line and the indentation. So this quote is set aside from the main body of the text. So the next thing we can do for our page is add some links into our site. So we're going to come to a Facebook page here. So this could be your Facebook page, and we're looking for the URL or the web address up at the top here, which we'll copy. So navigate to the page that you want to link to, whether that's your Facebook, your Twitter, or another website that you want to link to. Copy the web address or the URL, and then jump back in to edit your page. So we'll scroll down here, and we'll just type into the middle of this sentence here, visit our Facebook page. We'll highlight that text, and then to make that into a link, we're looking for this insert or edit link button, which we can click on here, and now we can go to edit and paste, and we'll paste in the URL to that link. Now we can also upload some files in this way as well, and we'll have a look at how to do that in a minute. So we've got the text to display, which is our Facebook page. It's linking to an external site, so we can set the target to a new window, which will normally mean that when you click on that link, it's going to open the link in a new tab. So we'll press OK, and we could make it bold as well, just to highlight it a bit better. And it's just applying to that short section we have selected. So now if we scroll down and press publish, we can come back to our test page on the site and press refresh. We now have an active link that when we click on it, will open up in a new window. So let's close this up. So creating a link to a page within your site or to an external site is exactly the same. You may just want to treat the functionality of whether it opens in a new tab or in the same window differently, depending on whether you're linking into your site or to an external site. We're now going to jump back into our content management system, back into the edit options, and we're going to create a list here. So if we scroll down, we've created a quote. We're going to scroll down to just below our level 2 title, and we're going to turn this paragraph under our level 2 title into a list. So creating a list is pretty simple. If we click on the list options up here, we can either select a bulleted list or a numbered list. And if you click on the drop down menu here, you have some different options for different kinds of bullet points that you can use, or different types of numbered list. If we click the bulleted list in this example, we'll just adjust our paragraph here so that it breaks into a list, and every time you hit enter, we're going to add a new bullet to that list. So it's super simple to set up, and then you can see I've accidentally caught the next paragraph in my list, and if we hit enter, it's going to remain part of that list. But if we keep that paragraph highlighted and then press the list button again, it will break it out of that list. So we can make each item part of the list or not part of the list by selecting and clicking that. So that's how we would remove the list functionality from these items. So if we select all of these, it will turn off the list for everything. And we can change this into a numbered list as well, as we mentioned, or one of the different types of numbered lists that we can use. So if we publish this bulleted list and press refresh and scroll down, we'll see that bulleted list in line with our text on the website. So there's a few more things to do here. We're going to have a look at how we embed images and video. But first of all, we'll have a look at how we embed a downloadable file onto our site. So we'll jump back to our website and into the edit options. And then we'll scroll down and we'll add a downloadable file somewhere between a couple of the paragraphs after our list. So we'll type in some text here. And essentially, creating a downloadable file starts off with the same method as creating a link. So we highlight the text that we want to click on to download our file. We'll click Insert and Edit Link. And here you can see to the right of the URL, the web address field, we can click here to browse for files. Now we don't have any files uploaded yet, so we're going to click this little plus symbol up at the top left to upload a file. And we can drag and drop files from our desktop anywhere on our computer into this section, or we can click here and it will bring up our file browser to upload those files. So we're going to upload this PDF, select the file and then press open, and it will quickly upload. This is a super small example file, so you may find that if you're uploading bigger files it takes a bit longer, and for PDFs you may want to compress those down so it's a web version to make uploading and downloading of those files quicker. So we'll return to the file list now, and if we hit the plus symbol here, it will copy the link and pop it into the URL field here. So we've got the option, click here to download the report. Sometimes we might copy and paste in the file name as well. And then if we click OK, you can see we've got that link created to download that file. Now there's one more thing I want to do here, and that is to come back in to edit the link, and we're going to target this to a new window, which means that when we click to download it, it's going to download in a new window. Otherwise it will open the PDF in some browsers in the same window that you're viewing your website, which we wouldn't necessarily want it to do. We can make it bold to highlight the download and then press publish, and we'll jump back to our test page, hit refresh, and we'll scroll down and you can see we have a link that we can click on and it will download that PDF, which is just a blank PDF for this example, but it will download the PDF into your browser, or if your browser is set up differently, it may download that to your downloads folder on your computer. So let's move on to look at how we add images to our page. And there's a few things to think about when we're adding images, to do with the size of the image you're uploading, and then also things like the alignment, and then also things like the alignment of the image within that page. So we'll jump back to the content management system and click on Edit Page. And the way that we add images into our page is first of all to browse here for the image that we want to upload. So we'll click on Browse, and then we'll look for this medium resolution image, click Open. And what's important about this image just before we click Open is that it's only 506 kilobytes. So it's a relatively high quality image, but it's been compressed down for the web so that it's quick to upload. So if we press Open here, our image is going to upload. And what will happen here if we scroll down, once we've added our image there, we scroll down to the bottom of our page, is that we get this photo ID tag. And what we need to do is copy all of that tag to the location that we want to put our image. So you need to make sure you copy everything within the square brackets, photo ID equals 1, and make sure you copy all of that or cut all of that. So we're going to go to Edit and Cut, which is going to copy and remove that from the bottom of our document, and then we'll move it a bit further up the page. So we'll come right to the beginning of our document here, and then we'll go to Edit and Paste. And then if we scroll down and press Publish, we'll come back to our test page here and press the refresh button. And you can see now we have a nice image that's been scaled perfectly to fit the width of our column in our page. And what's nice about this is that when we've added that image, and we can see if we come back in to edit our test page, when we've added that, it's scaling it as a percentage. And the reason for that is that the image is 1000 pixels wide or larger. So essentially when we upload a larger image like this, the image is embedded as a percentage, which means when we look at it on a mobile device or we look at it on a web page, it will scale to fit the width of the column perfectly as we're scaling it. So let's have a look at what happens when we add a smaller image here. So if we scroll down to the section at the bottom here, we'll browse for a second image, first of all, and we're looking for this 200 pixel wide version of the same image. And now once this has been added, you can see that instead of it being listed as a percentage, it's being listed as pixels. So when we add this in now, I'll just cut that. So edit, cut, and then edit, paste. And then press publish. We come back to our test page here and refresh that. You can see that now when we scroll down, we have that image at the same 200 pixel width. And the reason for that is that if we apply the same 100% rule to this image, then it would stretch and lose quality. So this is displaying at the actual size, or the actual pixel size of that image. And this size image is useful if you want to align an image to the left of your text. So if we come back to our content management system, click edit, and then come down a bit, you can see we've got 3 options here for the layout of the image. And these don't really apply for this image because it's viewing at 100%, so it's going to always fill the width of the column. But here, when we have an image that is less than the width, we can align this to the left, to the center, or to the right. So if we align it to the left by clicking this button here, we'll scroll down, press publish, come back to our page and refresh it. And now you can see that that image has aligned nicely to the left of that paragraph. And what will happen if we add more text with that paragraph in our content management system is that the text will wrap around the image. So let's just have a look at how that works. I'm going to come down to the bottom here and paste in some more text at the end. And then we'll publish that and then refresh our page. So now you can see we get that nice image aligned to the left and then the text wrapping around it. And the same will apply if we come into edit again and align that image to the right, publish this, and then refresh our page. You can see now that image is aligned to the right. So you can pick and choose, depending on the width of your image, how you want that image to align. We can also, with images that are larger, make a percentage that's less than 100%. So if we come across here, edit our page, and then type in, say, 30% for this first image, for the higher resolution image, we'll publish that, and we'll come in and refresh. You can see that image is now going to sit at 30% of the width of that page. It's still the original image, it's just being scaled down based on what we've decided to scale it down. And then with that image, even though it's bigger, we can then use the align options. So align this one to the left. And now we'll have our image aligned to the left at the top there. So you can see there's some nice options for working with your images. They're aligned to the left, aligned to the right. And whenever you're designing a page, it's always worthwhile, as you're adding your images, testing that page not only in the web browser, but also on a mobile device as well. So you can see when we take our browser and make that page thinner, this is going to reorganize. And essentially the same thing applies when we're looking at that on a mobile device, on a phone or a tablet. The content is going to rearrange itself, and testing that to see how things look on those smaller devices where it's not a full screen web page is going to be useful as well, so that you know your content looks great in all those different scenarios. So let's look at embedding one last piece of content here. So we're going to have a look at how we embed a video into our project. So the first thing you'll need to do is to find a video that you're going to embed. We're going to use a YouTube video here. So we're going to grab the web address of this video, so the URL up at the top, and we'll go to edit and copy, come back to our page in the pages module and hit edit. And so just the same as with an image, we're adding this YouTube link, and we're going to get a small piece of text code that we can move to the position we want it to sit in. So if we press add, you can see we get those same layout options. The width is going to be 100%. Here we have the pixel options too. And then if we scroll down to the bottom of our text, we're going to have that video ID. So if we highlight that, go to edit and cut, we'll scroll up a little bit here, and we'll put it at the beginning of this paragraph. So video ID equals 1, making sure that you copy those square brackets as well, and then press publish. We'll come back to our test page and refresh. And now if we scroll down, you'll see we have our video embedded into our page, and we can continue to add content and titles around those videos as well. And we can add multiple videos to any one of our pages. So if we come back to our edit button here, we're going to have a look at one last thing, and that is this right-hand column on the right-hand side of our page. And essentially, if we scroll down, you can see there's a lot of space underneath that right-hand section that isn't being used. So we could add some content into that. So if we come back to our edit page, if we come back to our edit page tab in the content management system, we can, if we come back to the edit page tab in our content management system, we can come to our right column, and you can see here that we have some options for adding either text content on the right hand column, so we can add a heading, we can browse for images, we can add YouTube content, and that will work in exactly the same way as the left column, except it will appear in that thinner column on the right hand side. The other options we have is to add some of our global content. So we have here the option to show our content above or below that contact page. So if we show it below, we're going to select So if we scroll down here, you can see we have some options to show the latest photos, and the latest Facebook Lightbox if you have Facebook connected to your site. So we'll just add the photos, press publish, and then come back to our test page and refresh that. And then if we scroll down, you can see we have the latest photos added there on the right hand side. Let's add a little bit of text in there. So we'll come to our right column, we'll add in a little bit of text. Paste in some placeholder text. And then if we publish that, come back and refresh, So that's the end of this overview of editing and adding and editing a page. Adding and editing a page in the content management system. Adding and editing a page in the content management system. And remember to have a look at the other sections for working with your navigation, for working with your navigation, and for working with the different modules available for your site.